think I've been in this group before. Thank you for inviting me. About, I'm going to say roughly 11 months until the actual election, which is June 7th. But we anticipate early voting roughly a month ahead of time. We'll say that's roughly 11 months from now. So let me give you a little background on myself. For those who don't know me, it's going to be very short, but I think each time there's new people that come. I'm actually a first-generation immigrant, actually from Taiwan, and I started here in first grade. I'm a graduate of the Unified School District, Carson High School, and a graduate of UCLA in electrical engineering.
Yes.
You're right with assets.
Well, I've been a paper boy for Herald Examiner, and I used to wash dishes in House of Chen because my family also had a home-run restaurant, which is now called, it's right across from Torrance Electronics on Carson Street, a Japanese restaurant right now.
Oh, wow.
So I've been in the area for quite a long time. I used to bake pretzels at Alpine Village during beer garden during Oktoberfest.
Oh, wow.
And lived 2 doors down from Ziggy Schmidt, which used to coach soccer for U.S. Olympic soccer team and UCLA.
Wow, wow.
So that's a little bit of background. I'm the youngest of 3, and I'm a member of the Baptist Church here in Torrance, right next to Costco. And I'm also the grandfather now.
Oh.
1.5-year-old. So to make a clarification, I retired from Raytheon after a 33-year career back in July 2017. And about a month after, graduate, or should I say retired? Same thing, let's just say. I retired from Raytheon after a 33-year career, developing airborne radars for F-14s and F-18s and electronic warfare systems. Basically, electronic warfare systems protect the jet from getting fired, getting shot down by the enemy jets. And then I told my wife I felt a calling to run for office. And it's just a weird thing. I'm not a very charismatic person, for those who know me, unless I'm on the basketball court. But maybe it was one of those things that, as I share a little bit of my background, there's a lot of people that talks about what the American dream is. And I actually felt like I've experienced the American dream. A person can come up here and just basically do your best, and then you don't expect anything, you don't feel entitled to anything, but you always give your best and give yourself a chance to excel. And I felt like I was going to write a book after I retired, but the title of the book would have been something like this: A Glimpse of God's Amazing Grace.
Yes.
And I felt like I've tasted a little bit of that. The story's not over yet. So here it goes. So we decided to file, I initiated my own vetting. Most people say, who is this guy? They just come out of rock somewhere. Has he ever been in a Torrance City Commission? What else did he do? And it was like 0, 0, 0, 0. Because he has social media presence, 0, 0, 0, 0. So the kind of work I did, you don't want any social media presence. You want to be a ghost, if you will. So that was just the way. I remember my friends telling me, you gotta have Facebook, you gotta have Twitter. I said, sorry, I just don't do that. Even today, I don't have a Twitter account, and I still get some people say, why? I said,
You haven't missed anything.
I just try to do some social media just because I'm a public official and I'm running for office. I need to do something just to get my name out there. So I'm probably enough just to be dangerous, even though I get tried to doubt. I don't do enough, but my personality is a little different. But it doesn't mean my values are different. So Evan Chase told me one time, he goes, George, if you get elected in 2018, that would be a miracle. So, I'm so glad that miracles still happen today, because I got elected out of a field of roughly 6 candidates. I got the number 2 vote, and we, both Aurelia and I knocked out one incumbent, and I was second highest voter, and Aurelia Matucci was 3rd. So right after I got elected, the city of Torrance went to district elections. I'm going to unpack this a little bit because this has a meaning of what's really going on. District 2, 4, and 6, they chose initially what they want to do, rolling out the first 3 districts. District 2 is West Torrance, where I live. District 4 at the time was where Councilman Herring lived. District 6 is where Councilman Griffith lived. Now I go back, District 2 was where former Councilman Rizzo lived. Not many people paid attention, maybe some astute ones like Rick probably does, and go, why did they pick 2, 4, and 6? You know, they all complain about going district, and then they say, okay, we're gonna do it, and we're gonna do 2, 4, and 6. Well, if you think about it, there were 3 council members, Griffith, Milton Herring, and Mike, and Jeff Rizzo. Those are districts, to give them a second chance to run a second term. Doesn't look too bad. I mean, they make the decisions. The problem is, Mike Griffith's district in District 6, he's the only one living in there. There's only one. Councilman Herring's district, District 4, he's the only one. After I got elected, June 5th, 2018, in District 2, there were Ken Goodrich, he got reelected. I got elected for the first time, and Councilman Jeff Rizzo. So there's 3. So we were like triple stacked.
Yeah.
So I wrote a letter to the previous council before my installation saying, you know, Honorable Mayor and Councilman, the results are out. I got elected, now there's 3 in District 2. Will you please consider a district that has no representatives on the council, since you already made the decision, whether it's North Torrance, which is now District 1, or between North and West, where that's called District 3. I say, if your concern is you already chosen numbers to redefine which district is number 2, you know, North Torrance, and put them in the first round. It doesn't make sense to put West Torrance in the first round. You know, as far as I see it, I was at the meeting when they made the final decision, and they totally ignored it. And so I went to the city attorney. I said, you know, that just doesn't seem right to me. And he kind of chuckled at me. He goes, "Oh, Councilman, you can always move." Okay. I mean, I don't know if he's being joking or not, but I really felt that was a little bit. I hate to use the word unfair, because I don't like to play the victim card, but I really felt that was unfair in that case. So, you know, I just said, okay, then I'll just roll on. So 2019 came around, and a lot of people said, "George, you gotta defend your seat." I go, "What do you mean? I won." He goes, "You gotta defend your seat." I go, okay. So I really stood about that one, and it really is, if I do not run for the first district election, I will automatically predetermine myself a one and out councilman, because another person would be in District 2, and he or she would have been midterm when my first at-large term was up. So after much prayer and decision with my wife Amy and I, we finally decided in April 2019 that we will start the campaign again. So that's that's my second campaign in 2 years. So anybody who's ran a campaign, I think in this room there might be a couple. You know that it's very painful, it's very hard work. One of the biggest things is raising funds. The other thing is getting your name out there, and then to do the door knocking, and everything involved in it. But by God's grace, March 2020, I won't use the term re-elected, because the city clerk don't want me to say re-elected. It's a new office, so I got elected as district councilman. So I am serving in my first term all over again. So here I am, and the amazing thing is, within the districts, within the precincts in each district, in District 2, we won every single precinct, even in my competitor's own neighborhood.
Wow.
So that was truly, I don't know if they call it sign or a blessing, but it is something I really praise God, thank God. So that was March 2020. Now you come, you know, then the pandemic hit, right? So everybody's in lockdown. And before March 2020, the first thing they said is, "George, you gotta run for mayor." I'm thinking,
Oh my God.
you guys really don't know what it's like to run a campaign. You know, I've run 2 in 2 years. Are you kidding? Right? I mean, I don't have a seat to protect now. I go, well, you know, the mayor is terming out. You know,
Thank God.
that's my warning.
5 minutes. No, you got 5 minutes.
Okay. So, I mean, I hope I'm unpacking this so you know what the situation really is in Torrance. And then, again, I told my wife, you know, what do we do, you know? It's like, I don't feel like running for office is something I need to do to preserve my own manliness or anything, or manhood. I just want to do a good job, represent the people with my conservative values. And then I prayed, I said, you know, something unique has to happen for me to really run again this time. It just can't be the only reason this office is open. And some of my colleagues on the seat, on the city council encouraged me as well, which is unique. And one time I get a phone call and said, you know, we want to try to do it right this time. Maybe instead of splitting the votes from many conservative candidates, we're gonna find one person and let he or she go for it, and encourage other folks to stand down. That was a head scratcher for me, because for those of you who know, I'm kind of like the minority among the party, I'll call it. You know, I'm still a relative unknown, I would say. I walk around the streets and no one will recognize I'm a councilman. I don't wear a hat that says Councilman Chen. So, and if you look at all the endorsements from my competitors, especially the last one from Janice Hahn all the way down to everyone you could think of, all the past elected. And it was like fighting the whole establishment network previously elected. All we did was, you know, put the campaign together, you know, beg my friends and relatives again, would you please donate? And we keep asking, what happened? You got the short straw? Did you get a 1-year term? Did you get a 2-year term? No. So I had to explain this whole thing every single time. So now that I've got the phone call, I told my wife, you know, it is an opportunity. It may be historical, and I think if the folks want me to run, and they really stand behind me, are you willing to suck it up with me? Do the 3rd campaign in 3 years. So with much prayer and deep, I guess I'll admit it's a little struggle with me to go, okay, what if the leadership is behind us, let's go for it. So here I am. We decided to run for mayor, and I just saw the filing from the website of my competitor. He or she again has basically all the who's who of the past elected. As a matter of fact, many members of the Volterra Men's Club has endorsed my competitor. But you know,
Oh my God.
there we go again. You know, we're gonna
Jeez.
do our best as an underdog, and I ask that any one of you who wants to help. I have flyers there, I have name cards there, I have donation envelopes. It's about $5 a yard sign, and if not, please network for me. You know, tell 10 people about me. Go to my website and help out. We're about 11 months away, but we need all the forces to stand up in this campaign.
Who's your competitor?
Cliff Newmark.
Who?
Anybody know Cliff Newmark? Okay.
My daughter had his sister at Jefferson Middle School.
So did mine. So Cliff Newmark, former city councilman, current El Camino School Board, and he's a marketing director of his own marketing firm. So running a campaign is really his sweet spot. I mean, that's what a campaign is, marketing. So
And he's liberal, right?
as far as I know, yes. So for those who didn't know, it's probably coming up to the conservative candidate versus the liberal candidate. So we're gonna go in the, you know, if it was in the UFC ring, that would be okay with me. But it's really one. Hopefully we stay one-on-one, and I'm just gonna, you know, run this campaign as hard as I can and stay clean. And you guys know what I stand for. You know, the last couple of things we did, I'm gonna go a little slight overtime. Getting the timers a little warning is before the question, let me just say a few things very quick. You know, the last thing we did is we're working on the homelessness issue. You know, we passed the anti-camping ordinance, a temporary shelter, and the homeless plan, and that's to get money to start the homeless shelter development. No good deed goes unpunished. I'm sure we get a lot of complaints on where we put it. City is still looking for other possible locations, but you just can't find the best of all possible worlds every single time. Secondly, I'm the one that motioned for the no confidence for George Gascon. My wife brings a petition every week to church, and it's still getting signatures, so we are still working on that big time. Good. This week we are very happy. I mean, I don't know if I should endorse anyone, but I can as a personal person. I really like Larry Elder for governor, so that's And back in 2019 in May, I'm the one that motioned for In God We Trust in the City Council, and that was a battle. I couldn't believe we had to fight to put that motto in the City Council chamber. But the miraculous
So
thing
glad he
about
did it.
how God works is because of COVID-19, City Council spread out the dais so that we're about 6 feet apart. So we used to have a dais about like this. Now our dais looks like this. Every time you video or take a picture of City Hall, because the width of this, they have to put in God We Trust. It just fits in the frame.
Nice.
None of us could have, rigged this, right? It's like, because the width got longer, they have to get the In God We Trust every single time. So, if I never get elected, I told the folks I will die happy as long as we put that in there, because with that kind of foundation, and I'll answer questions, because I share with the folks, when we have our foundation solid, the decisions of life becomes easier. When we don't have a rock solid foundation, the God that we trust, then we get pushed around by what seemingly is the loudest voice in front of us, but not necessarily the correct voice. So I will end with that. I had a lot more. I'm going to cut it short.
What?